Inside the ESPN NBA studios, Kevin Connors, 10-year NBA veteran Tim Legler, ESPN NBA insider Chris Broussard, NBA Coach of the Year Mike Brown. Miami Heat 2-2 since the All-Star break as of Tuesday night. And Legs, Sunday night they lost to the Knicks at home by 5 points. What alarmed you about that loss?
Well, I think we're seeing a trend with this team, and we know the numbers. They have not performed well against the elite teams in this league. They haven't played well against teams over 500. They haven't played well against great defensive teams. It's a team that, to me, becomes very predictable with the game on the line, and I think that's a major problem for this team. As long as they want to allow LeBron James to try to bring the ball up the court the majority of every possession that matters late in the game and allow him to try to attack a defense from 30, 35 feet out with a live dribble when the defense is sitting at the edge of the paint waiting on him. If that's how they're going to try to win games late, I think they're going to continue to struggle because they're not taking advantage of ball movement. They're three-point shooters. They don't have a post-up threat. LeBron James is trying to be spectacular, and that's how they're going to try to win games. It just doesn't work in this league in a sustainable way against good teams.
Yeah, and that's why they're beating the bad teams and the mediocre teams on sheer talent. But when they don't execute, I don't really think they play as a team on the offensive end. Defensively, they're great. But offensively, the only time they really work together is in transition. That's when you see Wade and LeBron passing to one another. But in the half court, it's all one-on-one. If it's not LeBron doing something one-on-one, it's Wade doing something, or one of them passing to Bosh and he shoots a jumper. That's it. They're too predictable, and that has to change.
Yeah, you know, you look at all of the good teams out there, the great teams out there, and they have a lot of balance offensively. You look at the Celtics, you look at the Spurs, you look at the Mavericks, you look at the Bulls. All those teams have a point guard that distributes the basketball and gets people in the right spot, but the point guards may or may not be able to score at certain times. Then they have a shooting guard that can knock down shots that you got a game plan for, that come off screens or be able to make plays different than the other two guys on the perimeter. And then their small forward is yet even different. So the Heat have two guys that play pick and roll. And once you understand how you're going to play the pick and roll and pack that paint so that the dribble drive is not there, it makes it tough for the Heat to score in the half court. If you limit your turnovers, now they don't get out and they don't run in transition and score on you in transition. And then they can't control the flow of the game a lot of times because they don't have that guy in the post that you can just throw the ball to and say, okay, big fella, go to work, either get a bucket or get to the free throw line so we can start getting some free throws early in the quarter because we're in the bonus.
Chris, this is a Heat team that made no moves at the NBA trade deadline, but that's not to say that they won't make any moves before the end of the season.
Yeah, they're going to get Mike Bibby probably tomorrow. He'll sign once he clears waivers. And I know he has some problems defensively. And, you'll see if they can overcome that. I think they can because they're good at the other positions. But offensively, I think he can answer a lot of their problems because if he takes the leadership role, if he's willing to say, look, I'm going to bring the ball up the majority of the time, I'm going to be the point guard, and then they get LeBron and Wade moving without the ball, put him in some different spots. And also, LeBron, you don't want him in the post all the time, but he could solve some of those problems by going in the post sometimes and getting fouls, drawing fouls, getting guys in foul trouble. If Bibby takes over a lot of the ball handling, opportunities, then they can put LeBron in the post more, and maybe that can answer some of their issues.
We're going to find a lot more out about this Miami Heat team in the next 3 games. They've got the Orlando Magic, the San Antonio Spurs, and the Chicago Bulls all upcoming. For Tim Legler, Chris Broussard, and Mike Brown, I'm Kevin Connors.